Hi, I'm Jake Grez, also known as Nurse Jake. As a travel nurse, I've worked in all kinds of places, different settings, cities, and climates. Every assignment brings on a new challenge, which is why I always bring my figs. These scrubs are built for whatever the job throws at you. They're breathable, flexible, and comfortable in any environment. No matter where I land, I know they're going to keep me looking and feeling my best. And don't sleep on the details. The pockets, the features, the finishing touches, everything has a purpose, and it makes a real difference when you're moving nonstop. The fit is clean, tailored, and super polished, and they come in a huge range of colors. In other words, they feel great throughout a 12-hour shift, and they always look good. See every healthcare professional on Instagram. If you work in healthcare or know someone who does, check out Figs and get 15% off your first order at wearfigs.com with code FIGSRX. That's wearfigs.com, code FIGSRX.
They say there's more than one way to skin a cat. So here's a little segment I like to call Here's How. And this week, here's how you could kill a camel in 10 different ways. Get one so drunk it gets alcohol poisoning. We already know camels don't drink often, but I bet when they do that they proper go for it. So if you only supply them with fortified wine, you might be able to finish one off in a single session. Force feed one sand. There's ample sand usually surrounding camels in movies and that, so this should be an easy one to do. Just bring yourself one of those plastic scoops from a pick and mix and pour away. Seal up its arsehole with concrete. This isn't a new idea. I've seen reports of a lot of people pouring concrete into each other's bumholes as a form of sexual gratification. There's nothing sexual about this though. It's just a new way to finish off a camel, rather than finishing off your lover. Speaking of sex, you could get somebody with untreated AIDS or another form of STI to have intercourse with the camel. I'm not sure if it'll pass over to the camel, and of course people with HIV can have sex with their partner without anyone contracting the illness, but it's worth a shot, innit? You know, maybe pair this one up with another method. For example, feeding a camel nothing but cold casserole for the rest of its life will most likely lessen how long that particular camel lives for. But this, coupled with the unprotected sex with a human, may be enough to shave even more years off of your camel. Instead of getting your camel to play with your friend's dirty worm, how about having one fight a massive snake? It might win, and if it does, you can decide on whether it's released into the wild or whether that was simply round one. If it is round one and you've got time to spare, or simply don't like the idea of an unwitting animal managing to get one over on you, then you could force a heroin addiction onto the camel. Just inject it every now and then, or make some form of mask-like apparatus that it can be safely burnt within, allowing the camel to inhale the heroin fumes. This would be an interesting one, just to see how a camel reacts with withdrawal and how it copes with addiction in general. For a relatively quick fix where you don't have to watch the camel suffer, I'd suggest the building or rental of a medieval trebuchet. You only get to see the funny part where the camel shrinks as it hurtles towards the horizon, which is supposedly only ever 3 miles away, so it would be interesting to see just how far your camel travels. Was your camel difficult to ride? Could you say it was rather unaccommodating? Well, see just how accommodating it can be, or at least its urethra, and see if it can fit a cooked whitebait in there. Albeit I reckon this will be a bit of a slow burner, but it's a story to tell the grandkids that their other posher, fucking richer grandparent won't be able to tell them, so at least you'll always have that over them. Treat it to a little bit of parasailing. There was once a donkey that died in 2011 that used to regularly glide over parts of Russia. It lived to be 18 years old though, so maybe you'll want to do this in a hotter place and for longer stretches of time to ensure that your camel doesn't reach old age. And that's the end of this week's Here's How.